Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Consensus by CoinDesk in Austin, and joining me for this segment we have Ryan Sheftel. He is the CEO of Radki. We're going to discuss quantitative trading for digital assets, and of course, top of mind, regulation. Ryan, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Tell me about Radki and where you fit in the digital asset ecosystem.
Sure. So Radki is a cryptocurrency and digital liquidity provider, market maker, and principal trading firm. So much like the principal trading firms in the traditional markets that provide liquidity into different marketplaces, we're doing the same in the digital asset space. That includes both centralized exchanges, DeFi, and then NFTs, which we think are going to be a huge opportunity in the future.
So what kinds of projects are you working on?
Projects for us will be working with various different DeFi protocols to help invest in them, help them find and source liquidity, as well as different NFT projects that are entering the next stage, whereas the NFT project started by just minting and issuing, but obviously they created something that was able to be traded secondarily, and now they're reaching out to people like ourselves who can actually facilitate some of that secondary liquidity, bring in the kind of experience we've had in other markets to make these assets more tradable.
What differentiates Radki's projects?
I think for us, it's really about the fact that we bridge that gap and of understanding, we've lived through that traditional world. You mentioned regulation on the lead-in. I mean, we've been in markets that have gone through tons of regulatory changes. We've seen how that impacts effects and how you have to constantly be adjusting your business model to adapt to the new world. And we bring a lot of that experience and understanding to the cryptocurrency universe, as well as the parent company of Radki, which is GTS, owned by the same partners, is, it's one of the largest market makers down on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. So we understand the concept of doing our business under a microscope. I mean, we're down there on the floor, everyone's looking at what we're doing, it's a highly regulated environment, and we understand how to operate in that environment. And we can bring that same experience over to the cryptocurrency universe. So I think as regulations come on board, projects evolve, get more sophisticated, and have greater demands, we're used to that.
Why do you think NFTs are emerging as the hotspot?
I think NFTs because it does a couple things that I think. First of all, it creates assets that were never tradable historically in the past now can be so. And secondarily, it appears to me that in a lot of different business niches, it's removing people that create a lot of frictions to the equation. I mean, anyone who's bought a house in America is aware of, or even just refied a loan, of the frictions involved in that. And the combination of NFTs and smart contracts, I see can definitely revolutionize that and make things tremendously more efficient. And that's just better for the market and the country overall.
Why do you think reasonable regulation is an important asset to the ecosystem?
People want to understand when they're involved in a market that they're getting a fair shake. They want to, have a feeling of confidence, and investors have greater confidence that that when they transact and when they trade, they're getting a fair deal. That's important. And it's important because it brings more people into the ecosystem. There's a lot of people, as much as we love crypto and digital, there's plenty of people out there who have no interest or no need to get involved. But the more it becomes an environment where they feel like it's understandable to them, and it has the same guardrails that other markets they're involved in do, that'll make them more comfortable and they'll want to get involved.
That's a great point that you make. I think we tend to think very US-centric,
yeah.
Not realizing that billions of people around the world are operating on this technology. In many cases, this has been the only way they can transact or do cross-border payments. And we kind of need to get on board if we want to lead and be innovative.
Yeah, oh, as a country?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. I've experienced in my own life, people that remember the evolution of the derivatives market. In the traditional finance, there's a reason it's all in London, because US regulations made it very difficult to transact in the US, and that entire industry moved over to London. So, I think as a country, it's very imperative for us to be smart and forward-thinking and lead on this.
All right, Ryan, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.